So in this video we're going to do partial fraction decomposition for f of s equals s plus 1 squared plus 2, looking like someone's found the square. And here we've got a quartic s to the 4 plus 2s cubed minus s squared minus 2s. So how are we going to do that? Well, first of all, I want to break apart this denominator. So we can rewrite this as, if I just take the denominator as s to the 4 plus 2s cubed minus s squared minus 2s. And let's just deal with this for the moment. Let's just forget this fraction. So I can take an s out of all of these terms. So I'll now have s times s cubed plus 2s squared minus s minus 2. So that's still the same as what we got in our denominator. So now we've got s times a cubic polynomial. Now we've got s cubed plus 2s squared, and we've got minus s minus 2. Now I could take an s squared out of these two terms, so let's do that. So I've got s times s squared, so s squared goes into both, and then I will have s plus 2 left over. Now, can I get an s plus 2 out of this one? Well, it looks like I've got a good chance. I've got a minus s and a minus 2. If I put a bracket around these two terms, with a minus here, I could change my inside to a plus. So now I've got minus s plus 2. So the result of this is now some sort of result of factoring by grouping. So I've got an s plus 2 for both. So now I can write s times s squared s plus 2. Now this s squared here, there is a sign here which I could put a minus 1. So I could rewrite that if I wanted to minus 1 times s plus 2. So therefore I can rewrite this here now as s squared minus 1. So write that like that, and then s plus 2. So that's where we're up to so far. Now s squared minus 1, I can go even further with that. So I can rewrite this now as s minus 1 and s plus 1. So that's the difference of two squares. So if I write that as a square, 1 squared is 1, it's just the same. So s plus 1, s minus 1, and then s plus 2. So now I've broken down now into 4 linear terms. So I'll rewrite this function now with this as this. So that is the same as that. So that's a little bit of luck there. So now we can write s plus 1 squared plus 2 over s to the 4 plus 2s cubed minus s squared minus 2s. That's now going to be, breaking this down now into our composition, we can have a over s, so that's this one. Then we'll have b over s plus 1, it's this one, plus c over s minus 1, that's this one, and then add d over s plus 2. Okay, right, let's take this off the board on the other side and let's just clear that. Okay, so now to help us with our partial fraction decomposition, we'll write this side here in terms of all of these factors. So now we'll have s plus 1 squared plus 2 divided by s plus 1, s minus 1, s plus 2. So that's the equivalent to that. And then our partial fraction decomposition values. So a over s plus b over s plus 1 plus c over s minus 1 plus d over s plus 2. So now we're ready to do the Heaviside cover-up method. So we've got s equals 0, s equals minus 1, s equals plus 1, and s equals minus 2, all different values to make each one of these disappear. So I'm going to write down each one of these separately. So A will equal, so for here we want S equals 0. So I'll just write that there. So now we want 0 plus 1 squared plus 2 divided by, so when S is 0 here, this one will disappear. So then we're left with 1 times minus 1 times 2. So that will give us our A. So now we're left with 1 squared plus 2, which will give us 3. And then 1 times minus 1, which is minus 1, times 2, that's minus 2. So that's minus 2. So therefore A equals minus 3 over 2. So that's our first result. Now let's have a look for B. So for B, we want our S to be minus 1. That will make this one disappear. So now B will equal minus 1 plus 1 squared plus 2. And then we'll have minus 1 for here. That one will disappear. At minus 1, this one will be minus 2. And at minus 1, this one will be plus 1. So, minus 1 plus 1 squared, that's just going to be 0. So we can add 2. And then minus 1 times minus 2 is 2. And then times 1 still 2. So therefore our B will equal 1. Okay, now let's look for C. So C will equal, so plugging in S equals 1 to make that one disappear. So let's go in here. So we've now got 1 plus 1 squared plus 2. And then in here we've got 1 times 2. This disappears, and 3. So we've got 1 times 2 times 3. So 1, 2 and 3. Okay, let's work out what that is. So 1 plus 1 squared, that's 2 squared, plus 4, that's going to give me 6. And then 1 times 2 times 3 is also 6. So therefore C also equals 1. Okay, now let's investigate into D. So for D, we want S to equal minus 2. So that's our value for D. So plugging minus 2 into here, minus 2 plus 1 squared. So minus 2 plus 1 squared plus 2. And then for minus 2, we've got minus 2 times 1. So let's write these in. Minus 2 times minus 2 plus 1, that's minus 1, yeah. And then minus 2 minus 1, that's minus 3. And here, this one disappears. So now what we've got, minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1. Minus 1 squared is 1. Plus 2, that gives me 3. Okay, now minus 2 times minus 1 is positive 2. Positive 2 times minus 3, that's going to give me minus 6. So then my D will be minus 1/2. Okay, so now with all of these results here, this is the important bit. We need to write these values into our partial fraction decomposition, and that's going to give us our result. So let's take this off the board and let's have a look at the result. Okay, let's go for it now. So now we've got S plus 1 squared plus 2 over S to the 4 plus 2S cubed minus S squared minus 2S. Now we're ready to put our answer in. So A is minus 3 over 2. So now we've got minus 3 over 2 and then S. So that's that one taken care of. B over S plus 1, that's just a 1. So now we can add 1 over S plus 1. C is also 1. So now we can add 1 over S minus 1. And then D is minus 1/2. So now we've got minus 1 over 2s plus 2. And that's the result of our partial fraction decomposition. So if you used to expand that out again with common denominators, that's what you would end up with. Okay, so that's our result.